Ladies and gentlemen, actually, I mean this sincerely. I've been waiting all weekend for this moment of inspiration because I know him, I've seen him. Yesterday, in the presence of the offer to go forward with, he jumped up before I ever finished the offer and ran to the back of the room. Would you not love to have clients who want to go forward with you? And that's why they have the kind of success. They move when they see an opportunity. All right, yes, you would. So bring to the stage with me, in the way you'd love to come to the stage. Yes, Joseph Drolshagen.
Hi, I'm just so honored and excited to get to be here and be involved in this. Oh man, you'll hear about it in a minute. So Mary, let me tell you what my life used to be like. As a 22-year-old kid looking for his way, I lived outside of Detroit, Michigan, and one day I walked into a Unity church that was led by your mentor, Jack Boland, and I had no idea who that was. But I sat through a service, and it lit a fire in my soul beyond anything I had ever recognized before. And that sounds like it would be really exciting, right? But it has been, for a majority of my adult life, it was like torture. Because growing up in blue-collar family in the automotive mecca of the world outside Detroit, Michigan, and I was taught that responsibility for a man means that you get a job with a paycheck and you support your family. And I bought that hook, line, and sinker, and that passion that ignited. I spent so many years of my adult life pushing that down. The passion was to be up on stage and speaking and motivating and inspiring like I felt and I had never felt before, like I had that day in the Unity Church. And so as I went forward, and like I said, I bought it hook, line, and sinker, and I built a career in corporate America up to a vice president of sales position for a $60 million corporation with a bachelor's degree and all the stuff to match. And each one of those steps up that ladder, now my passion I continued to carry through that whole time, and I kept trying to push it down. And each one of those steps I went up that corporate ladder, the more painful it got in where my real desires and my passion and my love for my life was. And at some point I turned to alcohol, and I turned to food, and I turned to gambling, and I turned to ways of using that. And that led to experiencing divorce in my life after a 20-year marriage. I have one son that I've been gifted with and absolutely adore, and there is a gap between him and I that comes when there's substance abuse in the family. Mary, a few years ago I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And I didn't even care to do anything different. I didn't exercise. I didn't look at my eating. I didn't look at doing things different. I was so far off of that, where that drive was for me in my life. And through this whole process, I tried bringing that forward. I've written a book, and I've tried different things to live that life, to bring that forward, and nothing came of it. And not long ago, I was in Iowa, which is where my job was, and I was driving home from work, and I just had this breakdown, just right in driving. And I just said, God, I don't know how to do this. Put any other passion inside of me, and I'll follow it with all my heart and all my soul, with everything I got. But I don't know how to do this. And nothing comes of it. No matter what I do, nothing comes forward, nothing comes of it. It was that kind of a prayer, that pleading, that I'm giving up kind of a prayer. 1 week later in Iowa, I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and they were doing introductions, and the person 5 people down from me introduced themselves, and they said, their name, and they said, I'm a coach with Life Mastery Institute. And I could feel that passion coming. Like I can feel it now. I could feel the heat of that. And you know how that is with that passion, where it's just got that heat in it. But I also had almost 30 years of failure, and 30 years of not being able to bring that passion forward, and 30 years of fear and paradigms and all of that. Later I would learn it was paradigms, but at the time I didn't know, but that fear that goes with it. And I mustered up the courage, and it took a lot of courage just to walk up and tell the person my name, because I was so afraid of that additional disappointment happening, that being disappointed again, getting excited and then disappointing. I had experienced so many times in life with this passion to inspire others. But I did go up and introduce her, and she was kind enough to get a cup of coffee with me, and then she told me about Life Mastery Institute. And that was a couple days after the Chamber of Commerce meeting, and then she took me, we had coffee, and then a couple days after that, I called, and all through this whole time, there's that struggle going back between my fears and my really being afraid to let something excite me in regards to that passion, but also that light of that passion. And so I called Life Mastery Institute and had the conversation, and I decided to invest in the Dream Builder certification program.
And where were you with substance abuse at that point?
At that time, I was in recovery. I've been in recovery for 12 years now.
Yeah, okay.
So, thank you. So at the end of that call with
let me just,
okay.
What I'm hearing is that even in recovery, that your whole life got better, of course, yeah. but the pain of the disconnect between you and your passion only grew.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that almost, yeah, you're right. It kind of ignited even more because it's like, okay, now I'm doing these things. I can see this stuff happening, and so it's still not coming to fruition. I've written a book that's been published since then and stuff, and I've hired crews to go around the United States and help me start filming a documentary, and I really poured into this as like my lover and my hobby and my best friend, and still not seeing anything come. So once I decided to sign up for the Dream Builder certification, at the end of that call, my enrollment specialist said to me, Joseph, within the next 24 to 48 hours, you're going to experience transformation. And I really wanted to say, yeah, I'm going to experience a large sum of money transforming from my hand to yours. And Mary, I don't know why I didn't say that. It's so much against my character, who I am. But I woke up that next morning, and my life was different. And we ready to walk across the stage?
You bet. Come on over here, right here.
I'm just taking this in for a second. This isn't an everyday occurrence. So after certification in March, I went home and I did what I could while I still worked my full-time corporate job as a VP of sales. And to date, I've delivered close to 25 vision workshops, and I have served 13 clients through the Dream Builder program. That's really exciting, right?
Yes.
It gets better. After 30 years of struggling to live that passion while I live in corporate America and find a way to find happiness and peace and fulfillment of what that passion is telling me to do versus that. 4 weeks ago, I resigned from corporate America. And here's a picture of me doing today what I love. I don't know if you see that. Speaking and inspiring people to live their passion. One of my other dreams, Mary, was for over 2 decades, was to get out of the city and really live in nature. And today I get to enjoy living in an awesome cabin home in the mountains of, take this, Mountain Rest, South Carolina. And there's fishing and, trout streams and waterfalls galore and jeeping and motorcycling. And here's a picture of me enjoying a day with my dog Bella. And today, after all those years of following what people told me were responsibility, today for me, responsibility means that every Monday is fun day. And I live at large too, and I enjoy the heck out of every Monday of my life. And I talked to you about, thank you. And I talked about my son, Joey, who I absolutely adore. And here's a picture of him and I enjoying waterfalls. I talked about the relationship being gap based on substance abuse and things like that in our family. And Joey came down to see me a couple weeks ago, and we had an awesome time, and he left. And he called me last week. And he said, Dad, I want to come and live with you in South Carolina. And he followed up with saying, there's no place or nobody else in my life where I feel as good about the person I am as when I'm with you. And you gave me that. You gave me that, Mary.
You did it, but I gave it.
You know, I know we talk about all this being an investment in ourselves, but when I started this, I invested in the Dream Builder program as trusting the institution. Yesterday, I couldn't wait for you to get done talking. I didn't mean to be rude, though. I'm sorry. I couldn't wait to get to the back because my life mastery is an investment in me, an investment through me in the institution, and what a difference that's made. And I just really want to thank everybody involved with Life Mastery Institute and all my friends and posse here and just getting to intermingle with each other and stuff. And that training that you guys offer and the way you stick with us to help us build that business, I would never be where I'm at without that. And Mary, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you and tell you that I love you and what an inspiration you are and what one person having a vision and carrying that forward can end up meaning.
Thank you. Thank you. That's good. That's good. Thank you, Joseph. Awesome. How about that?